This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Hadler Holders. Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday for today, October the 17th, is a former NFL player for the Chicago Bears primarily, and he was a pro wrestler too. You remember him as Mongo in his time with the Monsters of the Midway Chicago Bears in 1986. And he was a wrestler. And then unfortunately, he's suffering from ALS, aka Lou Gehrig's disease. He was inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2024, so that's good in a sense. His name is Steve Mongo McMichael, who's now 67 years old. Mongo was born in Houston, Texas, and his parents separated before his second birthday. Well, he was born, yeah. Anyway, when his mother remarried and had to an oil company executive, Steve's last name was McMichael. He has three older siblings, John Richard, Kathy, and Sharon. So he was garnering attention for his baseball from the Cardinals and the Reds. But he liked his high school football stuff. 75 schools would offer him a position. He went to the University of Texas and was pretty good and all that. Unfortunately, the death of his stepfather marred his freshman season. Nevertheless, he was pretty good in the Hula Bowl, which was an all-star game to bring out scouts for the upcoming NFL draft. He was the team MVP in 1979 and inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame in 2010. And I do believe he was part of Texas when they won the national championship. I think they won the national championship, I thought. Anyway. So, Mongo was drafted in the third round of the draft, 73rd overall by the New England Patriots, who wanted Steve McMichael from Texas. It was weird. If we look at defensive tackles, the Giants picked Myron Lapka from USC. That didn't work out. Since he picked Ron Horn from Nebraska, that didn't work out so well. Darryl Scanlon to Houston, that didn't work out. Look at all the defensive tackles and all that. Not a lot of defensive tackles were drafted ahead of Steve McMichael, but they all sucked. Unfortunately for the Pats, they decided to cut him for his second season. But the Bears figured something was with Steve McMichael, so they said, why not? Let's take him as a free agent. And the Patriots would live to regret it, as he became one of the best starting defensive tackles of the 80s and got to the Super Bowl in 1985-86. He had 101 straight games started until his playing time was reduced. He put up 11.5 sacks to lead the Bears in 1988 and was part of 2 Pro Bowl teams. Anyway, Steve McMichael said the best thing he competed in was against the New York Jets in 91. With the Bears down by 7 with a minute 54 left, McMichael forced a Blair Thomas fumble and recovered it for the Jets. It's the Jets. Jim Harbaugh, who played for the Bears at the time, threw a touchdown to Neil Anderson to force overtime, which the Bears would win. He actually played one season for the hated Packers before retiring in 94. It was known as being the Merciless. And then he basically said, thank God New England got rid of me and all that. So anyway, yeah. He was previously nominated in 2014 and 15 and all that. He got to the Hall of Fame for 2024, formally inducted, but he couldn't make a speech because of his ALS. Members of the 85 Bears actually traveled to his house to share the celebration with him. Anyway, practically when we started the NFL in his NFL career, he actually was ringside for Lawrence Taylor's match against, well, he was one of the football players at ringside in the main event at WrestleMania 11 when Lawrence Taylor would face Bam Bam Bigelow. It's okay to have an athlete versus a wrestler, but to make that the main event, a lot of people said WrestleMania 11 was the worst WrestleMania, and that mirrors WrestleMania 9 in that terrible ending when Hulk Hogan used his backstage politics. The one bright spot for WrestleMania 11 in my mind, other than Yokozuna coming out of nowhere to be Owen Hart's mystery partner to win the tag belts, was the start when America the Beautiful was delivered by this classically trained Special Olympian. And she did a good job of it because Fishbone actually didn't show up. Right. But anyway, regardless, yeah, he was one of the enforcers when LT Bam Bigelow. And then, well, he actually provided guest commentary and would brawl with Kama Mustafa. Then WCW decided to make him a color commentator in the ring. He would practically make his debut. The first WCW Monday Night Nitro happened, and he was in the seat with Bobby the Brain Heenan and alongside Eric Bischoff. There was no Tony Schiavone at first, so Bischoff was with Heenan and McMichael. He was the pro babyface color commentator. He would root for the popular wrestlers, would bicker with Heenan. Well, Bobby Heenan was known as a color commentator that liked the heels, especially in the WWF. And then he even brought his dog Pepe with him to the broadcast booth and would dress Pepe up in different costumes. So anyway, Ric Flair would, in storyline, hit on McMichael's wife Deborah. McMichael decided to challenge Flair and Arn Anderson to a match alongside his partner Kevin Green, former, current NFLer at the time. He trained with Macho Man Savage. And all that. At the Great American Bash, McMichael actually hit Kevin Green in the head with the briefcase, which was weird and all that. He would feud with the Dungeon of Doom with the other four horsemen. He was a four horseman and all that. McMichael would face Jeff Jarrett at Super Bowl 7, and it would be huge and all that. But anyway, McMichael would actually face Reggie White at Slamboree and beat him, but lost to Kevin Green at the Great American Bash. Steve McMichael would win the WCW US Championship August 21st, 1987. And unfortunately, there was a lot of problems and all that. The next night in Nitro, McMichael would have to drop his US title to Kurt Hennig. So he had some fights and all that. He had a lot of endeavors to do with the Bears and all that. And Steve McMichael actually made infamy in 2001 when the Cubs invited him to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game for the 7th inning stretch against the Rockies. He did. He said, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. But Steve McMichael, before singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, McMichael announced to those in attendance over the PA system that he would have some talks with the umpire after the game. And that was Angel Hernandez, the infamous Angel Hernandez, who made a terrible call in the bottom of the 6th against Ron Coomer of the Cubs. So basically he's saying, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. But after that, he was actually ejected from the game. The umpires would receive apology for McMichael's conduct from the Cubs. McMichael wanted to be mayor of Romeoville, Illinois, and lost. So McMichael married Deborah. They were a real couple in wrestling, and they divorced in 1998. And then he would marry Misty in 2001, having a daughter. In 2021, he was actually diagnosed with ALS, aka Lou Gehrig's disease. So he's been suffering ever since. He won the Super Bowl with the Bears in 1986, two-time Purple selection, Professional Football Hall of Fame in 2024, NCAA College Football Hall of Fame in 2009, won the WCW U.S. Championship, and it looked pretty impressive and all that for him. So yeah, Mongo did pretty well in the wrestling ring for the Bears and taking a pot shot at Angel Hernandez. Who wouldn't go after Angel Hernandez? Anyway, I'm Jeff Domino Duke.